So yesterday we established that even the likes of Ben Shapiro could admit that the recent DOJ actions have been absolutely awful. Without base, James Comey did nothing wrong, and he's like, this isn't the right's position, we're just doing what the left did the whole time. But it is the right's position. Here's Vinny on Valuetainment, absolutely uninformed, crazed rant. Here's the video.
This last night was one of the happiest. I was like, finally, now the dominoes, Tom, this is the first one.
Give me one of these.
Give me that, Pat. Like, it's fine.
There you go, buddy.
Finally. I want to just get that out there.
Like
but if you guys think about it, outside of all the crap that he did against Trump, do you remember what he did with the Clintons, how he was shielding Hillary for all those years, Tommy? In 2016, when he softened the language, when Hillary was doing all the email scandal and all her things that she was blatantly guilty for, he changed with, I think it was Loretta Lynch.
Wiping the server.
Yeah, wiping the server with a bleach bit. They said that James Comey with Loretta Lynch changed the verbiage of her indictment, not indictment, but they said they went from grossly negligent, which implies criminality, to extreme carelessness. So they gave her a pass. Do you remember that? He was involved with that, and he signed off on Russia collusion and all that stuff. He thought he was untouchable, and now, guys, remember that cryptic message that he put with those little rocks? 8647. Yep. That, in my opinion, was like hey, guys, get rid of his ass. Get rid of his ass because this is coming down. Now, mind you, there's a bunch of clips, Rob. We don't have to show him. He was bragging about what he did to
How
General
much you
Flynn.
think this accelerated everything? How much you think this post of 8647 accelerated all?
All right, before we tackle what he said, the loudest thing that he said was what he did not say, which was anything of substance about what is being investigated here. He's somehow tying it back to the Clinton email debacle and Crossfire Hurricane. This has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the potential authorization of an anonymous FBI source when the FBI was investigating the Clinton Foundation. That's what this is about. Now, a few of the things, he just like slanders James Comey over and over again for things that are not true. The idea that he defied Loretta Lynch, or that he was taking direction from her to change wording from gross negligence to extreme carelessness is untrue. He actually subverted Loretta Lynch. He subverted the DOJ in his whole July announcement of what he thought should go forward with the Clinton investigation. It was an internal FBI decision to change that wording. Why? Because gross negligence in the initial drafts, probably written by some unpaid interns because that's a stupid word choice, does imply that you're going to bring charges and get convictions out of this, right? It implies that James Comey actually thinks that she did something worthy of charging. And by the way, the DOJ, although it's on the books, technically, gross negligence is on the DOJ books, is something that you can charge. They never do it because that's the one thing that doesn't require intent. So you have to be really stupid and get so many red flags and just like overlook many obvious signals, right, to be charged with gross negligence. You have to essentially act like a 50 IQ person, right? You can say that Trump could be charged with extreme reckless disregard. That's what Jack Smith was going to do because even if we can't prove direct intent, we can prove that every single official in the country was constantly bombarding him with true information, directly contradicting with his own information. But that's a whole different thing. Clinton was not obviously guilty, by the way, using bleach bit. The bleach bit was before they actually started investigating her emails. So she was subpoenaed for Benghazi because, people died in Benghazi, right? She's the Secretary of State, I think. And they wanted to see if she responded correctly. And then she reached out to her IT people and said, I need you to sort out these emails. And they deleted the personal ones, kept the work ones, and sent over the Benghazi ones. And then once they realized that, the subpoena, the Congress realized that these emails were from a private server, they were like, we want all the emails. And then they got all the work-related emails and all the personal ones were gone. So she wasn't even being investigated at that point. And if there was some kind of communication for her that she wanted these emails deleted in some like nefarious way, then, we would know that. The FBI is very, very technically capable of finding that stuff out. right? And there would have been stuff, if she knew this was going to be investigated, she would have, maybe cleaned up the classified stuff that was there. Like, what was she trying to, what did she accomplish really? Comey started the Russia collusion. We've been over this so many times. None of these conservatives can even for a second explain how Crossfire Hurricane started. And then the idea that he bragged about how he got Michael Flynn, as if that is something that is bad or not within protocol. How he got Michael Flynn was he interviewed him. He had the transcripts of what Flynn said to the Russian national, the highly politically connected person he talked to about sanctions. He asked him exactly what he said, and he exactly lied, and then he pled guilty to it. What led to loss of trust in the DOJ was the DOJ dropping charges on this guy that pled guilty to lying. And were Flynn's lies absurd, like Manafort's lies and Stone's lies and Papadopoulos' lies? Like, no, they weren't. They had little material significance. But the way he got him was he interviewed him and he lied, right? He did it very elegantly. They were very nice to Michael Flynn. It was in the White House. They just kind of sat down with him. He knew it was the FBI. He knew it was a crime to lie to the FBI, and he lied to the FBI, right? 8647. Again, we're blaming the left. James Comey. This administration is a disgrace to all law and order, right? Ignoring a third of all court orders and like having the Supreme Court emergency docket being abused to this extent. It should be embarrassing to anyone who's ever worked in that field. And James Comey should have tweeted a lot more than 8647, which means remove the 47th president. Donald Trump should be impeached tomorrow. He probably will have some kind of impeachment thing in the future. I have no doubt about that. There's definitely enough to impeach him. It's just a political thing at that point. It's just like blaming the politics of the left. Same thing with everything that he said after Charlie Kirk got killed. It's blaming the politics of the left, which are objectively more true, right? Like everything this guy says is false. Everything every right-wing person says is false. You can very easily disprove all of it. It doesn't take that much work. The idea that contributes to violence, obviously absurd. The worst development to come out of Charlie Kirk's death. But even in the beginning, he was like incoherent. Right? He didn't even know what he was saying. He didn't even have his talking points lined up. Like, he probably doesn't even know the chronology of the Hillary Clinton investigation. He probably doesn't even know how it started. Like, he doesn't know how Crossfire Hurricane started either. Right? Because this stuff, it's simple, but it's a lot of information. But that's